Welcome to Waywut. This is a rabbit hole podcast where we cover topics ranging from sports to true crime and pop culture to just weird facts. Really, it's just a couple of guys taking turns to present weird topics to each other. We publish episodes on Tuesdays and sometimes on Fridays. You can watch us on YouTube and listen pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, just wherever. We're probably there. We really appreciate you joining us for this episode. And now that we got all this self-promotion stuff out of the way, here we go.
Why, hello there, and welcome to yet another episode where I take control of the dial and tune into another topic that made me say, wait, what? My fellow DJ today will be a man who likes to ride on the bumps on the shoulder of the road because it tickles, Darrell Holiday.
There's so much about this that I'm not a fan of. It's like, I mean, if we have any young people listening, they're going to be like, what's a dial?
Very true. What's a radio? Who's a DJ?
Yeah.
What about them bumps on the road, though? You like riding on those?
No, I hate that.
I do.
It's nice if it kind of like gets you back to your senses. You know, you start getting hypnotized by the highway, or you're looking at your phone too long. Not that I do that. And
they don't tickle.
And you're like, oh god.
They don't tickle you?
No.
They don't tickle your little butthole?
No.
It has to.
No.
My butthole, and my butthole's in the same place as your butthole.
Apparently, I don't have like a ticklish rectum.
It doesn't. No, they're all the same. They're all in the same spot. If mine tickles, your must tickles too.
No. No.
No. Well,
I've never.
Next time you ride on the bumps on the side of the road, think about it. Just run it by.
I never went on the bumps and they're like, that tickles.
Yeah,
that's never been me.
There's a reason why I need new tires.
God. At that point, just get a seat massager.
And well,
or you can get like a regular massager and just plant it under your ass.
I kind of like the bumps. You never know what you're going to get.
Oh dear God.
All right. Okay, here we go.
Take a drink of your penis cola and think about your ticklish asshole.
No, I was practicing that shit all day, making sure I got that right. I want to make sure I get that punchline right because that shit was funny. Okay. Insurance. Yes. Insurance is something you hear about growing up and not really pay much attention to, nor do you understand anything about it. As an adult, I pay a lot of attention to it, but I still don't understand shit about it. It's a joke. You try and get coverage, and they deny you for a multitude of reasons. Something that is mandatory should not be that hard to get, nor should it be so damn expensive. I had a bundled package with Liberty Mutual that insured both my car and house. The car insurance jumped up significantly in price, so I shopped around and got insured by Elephant Insurance. However, due to me dropping my bundle coverage on my car, Liberty Mutual thought it'd be a good idea to increase my house insurance by $4,000. There was no call, there was no email. I just noticed that my mortgage went up, and I didn't know why until I started doing a little digging. It was just ridiculous. So to hell with you, Limu Emu and Doug.
So I would have known all that. I actually worked for nearly a decade in insurance, so including Liberty Mutual.
They were so good at the beginning, and then they just started fucking around, and
it almost always works its way up. It's kind of like, like phone and stuff like that. I mean, I stuck with the same car insurance for a long time because they didn't really increase mine. But once my teenagers started driving, I had to shop around.
What I don't understand is how can your house insurance and car insurance, if you get them bundled, be cheaper together, but when you get them separated, all of a sudden your house insurance is much more expensive?
Because it's a discount. Whenever they write an insurance policy, it has certain discount codes, and bundling is one of them. If they're saying, hey, you're going to insure multiple things with us, they're going to make more money off of you that way. So they're willing to cut you a discount. Whenever you run off with your car insurance somewhere else, you eliminated that discount. That's why.
So they're making up for it. So they're not really getting a discount. They're just making up the difference in not getting the car insurance
I mean,
money.
it's referred to as a discount because there's a discount code whenever they're writing the policy. The yeah, this is why you it is kind of always good to use an insurance agent.
Mm.
I had the same one from the time I was 16 until recently. But yeah, they think about those things for you. They earn their commission.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I probably could have used one. So, but after calling around for new house insurance, I was denied a couple of times because of the insurance company either was not taking new customers for whatever reason, or not taking customers from Texas,
Yeah,
which was a thing.
that is a
Is
thing.
Yeah, what a screwed up model. Hey, Texas, we're not going to insure any of your people there. I'm sorry, even
Well,
though
no,
you're huge.
being their business model, it makes kind of sense because Texas has lots of hailstorms and tornadoes and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and it's either they charge so high that they can actually cover that, or they
I
just
just don't
don't do
get it.
business there.
Imagine having a store open and somebody walking in, you're like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm
You're
only accepting old customers today. You could turn around and walk back out. I don't want your money. Don't even get me started on health insurance. They
oh,
have
that
a
one's a
list of
scam.
ways to deny your claims.
No,
Makes
yeah.
me sick in my stomach.
Health
Just
insurance
more
is a
ways.
scam.
Yeah, just more ways for them to make money and limit their payout.
Yeah, so like most insurances, like car insurance, home insurance, stuff like that, they answer to a state entity of some sort. Like
Mm-hmm.
Texas, it's a state Texas and insurance commission,
Mm-hmm.
and they get to make all the rules that insurance companies have to abide by. That's why there are companies that will not do business in Texas because they don't want to abide by those rules. Health insurance, though, they get to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They have that industry, like not just the health insurance
Oh
industry,
yeah, they
but the
have
health
them.
system just by the balls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, my wife works in the healthcare industry. My sister works in the health or the doctor industry, healthcare industry, and just listening to them talk about insurance and all the crap that they go through, and
It's just a
it's a
blatant
process,
scam.
and it's a freaking complete scam. Absolutely. However, if you have money, you have very little issue in getting coverage. In fact, you can get whatever you want covered. I can get affordable house insurance, but insurance companies, mainly the Lloyds of London, have no problem insuring some actors' body parts. I get it for the most part, but it's just ridiculous. They already have millions stocked away, but let's get insurance for millions more. What is more ridiculous is the type of insurance that is offered for some things you had no clue could be insured or insured against. Here's what I found that made me say, "Wait, what?" First, here are some of you could get body part insurance. Some of these actors, movie stars, singers, whatnot, they went out and get insurance on certain body parts just in case that body part fails them during their career. Bruce Springsteen, he had his vocal cords insured,
Yeah.
but I don't how that's health insurance. Is that not health
No,
insurance?
it's kind of like a business insurance. I mean, that's all this is. It just comes off differently because of them being their business. Uh it's not insurance that will repair his vocal cords.
It's that will pay him
It'll
more
pay
money
him
for
if
not
they
making
stop
money.
working. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bruce Springsteen. You have $600 million in your bank account, but let's give you some more because you can no longer sing.
Hey, how is he supposed to keep up his standard of living if he can't sing anymore? He's accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
Oh my God. All right. Here's another one. America Ferrera, her smile was insured. This one I could kind of see. This one actually was insured by Aquafresh during their U.S. teeth whitening product. She was part of their promotion to raise money for their program. So I guess they wanted to make sure her smile stayed white and fresh if they were going to be, or she's going to be the face of this promotion.
Yeah.
Uh, Keith Richards. Keith Richards' middle finger's insured.
He
Not
shouldn't be insured for anything. It's a miracle he's still kicking.
he may be dead. He may have died 15 years ago. He's just up there living off the drugs that is in his system.
I mean, like, I think it's silly that his middle finger is, because I mean, like, I'm sorry, he's not stone cold. I don't think about his middle finger.
No.
I mean, like, I would understand if his hands were. I mean, he's a guitar player.
Yeah, why is middle? I don't even picture him giving the middle finger.
Oh no,
He's
he's a
using it
total
for
dick
something
bag.
else.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know why they're, it's not like, his he models his middle finger on like the covers of magazines or anything. It's like, oh blimey, that is a beautiful male finger there.
Yeah,
lovely.
There's this famous Dutch winemaker. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. His nose is insured.
All right, I can actually speak to this stuff.
All right, let's hear it.
Because my wife she loves wine. I mean, that's why for our anniversary this year we went to Napa Valley, and I go to wineries with her, and she's super duper into wine. And when you got these like master sommeliers that she was telling me about, where they eat like bland food like all the time to make sure that like their taste buds don't get
overworked.
Yeah.
What?
And and even like whenever it comes to smell stuff, like when we were in France this summer, we went to a perfumery. And she was saying that they have these people that are basically called noses, where they also do the same thing, where they keep bland diets and stuff like that to make sure that their noses are performing at the highest possible level. So if I'm doing all that shit for my like smell-based career, you goddamn right I'm going to insure the hell out of my nose. Because
I could see this one, yeah.
If I go through the crap of eating like, like fucking like crackers
bread
and rice for like all eternity, and like meat without seasonings on it and stuff. No, yeah, if something goes wrong and my nose don't work no more, I better be getting paid.
Yeah, I could see this one more. This one's not an actor or a rock star who already has billions and millions of dollars. He's just a winemaker.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what they already have if what they're insuring is what got them that money to begin with. It is obviously valuable and is worth being insured.
Yes, I'm just bitter that I couldn't get house insurance, but these people can get nose insurance and middle finger insurance. It's a little ridiculous.
Keep working at this, and if you get super famous, maybe you can get your I don't know.
It ain't gonna be
eyebrows.
My tongue ain't gold. No way.
Get your eyebrows or something.
My eyebrows and my web toes.
Oh,
my web toes.
Dear God, why do you have to tell people about that? They're gonna be
hey,
like,
Aubrey's been telling everybody at school.
It's related. We'll be like, not that we know of. Told you.
Gordon Ramsay
driving me crazy.
I see it, and I saw it fly around. I have a giant electric fly swatter that I use.
I do too, and I would totally use it right now. But
yeah,
I don't want to. I don't want to do any cuts in the episode. It's so much easier to edit if I don't have to do any cuts. So
yeah, all right. Gordon Ramsay has his taste buds. That's another one.
I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like, is it insuring his taste buds, or is it insuring the fact that he could still just cuss people out and get? Because I imagine he gets more money for like being an absolute dick to people than he does for cooking.
Yeah, it actually says being able to taste the food prepared by participants on camera and giving his no holds barred feedback is what millions around the world tune in to watch. So if he can't taste their shit, then he can't be an asshole.
That is a disgusting sentence that you just said. That is a horrific and disgusting sentence. And
Excuse me.
honestly, if we were in England, they might put you in jail for that.
For what? For saying
For
Gordon
saying something
Ramsay?
gross.
Oh, well.
You need to pay attention to new stuff. England's throwing people in jail for shit that they say now.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'll skip Daniel Craig. I mean, I don't say nothing bad about him then.
No, let's hear it.
Well, once again, I don't know how this doesn't fall under health insurance, but it's been told that his entire body is insured
Mm-hmm.
from his James Bond movie acting days. Like he did most of his own stunts, so the
I
danger of
imagine it's
portraying.
now that he's not James Bond, he just probably doesn't have that policy anymore. But again, it makes sense. I mean,
But how
he's
does it? They know he's going to be doing his own stunts. He's going to be jumping out of planes or taking these huge
I don't
risks.
know if he did his own stunts. I don't remember anything about him doing his own
Well, it
stunts. He's
says
not Tom
is known
Cruise.
to do his own
Oh,
stunts, and there have been media reports about Craig getting injured during filming.
well,
So all
I think
this is known.
was it his body? I don't know if it was the health of his body or if it was the appearance of his body.
Okay, that could
Because
maybe.
I mean, he made a big fuss. They made a big fuss about him in Casino Royale when he was walking out of the water and he's got like his cum gutters showing and stuff. You know,
I
you
don't
know.
think that's the medical term for that area of the body.
Well, I mean, whatever. But like you know, every woman got moist at the same time, and somebody's like, "Well, shit, that's valuable. We need to insure those cum gutters." So,
Um, I'm sorry, Patricia. I'm sorry
my
if your
mom
son
don't
said that.
listen.
No.
My mom doesn't love me, and if you ever hear me say this, then you can get mad at me.
Well, there has been a multitude of athletes and actors and singers that have had their legs insured. David Beckham, Taylor Swift, Rihanna, Heidi Klum, Jamie Lee Curtis, Mariah Carey. They've all had their legs insured at one time or the other.
None of those are really like. I mean, like I get the David Beckham one. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he was a soccer player.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer player.
Yeah, not football. I even wrote football in here. I'm like, why? Why did I
Yeah,
write football?
yeah. But like, I was never impressed with Jamie Lee Curtis's legs. I was never impressed with Taylor Swift's like anything. And I'm not gonna say I do like some Taylor Swift songs. I ain't gonna
Oh
say I
yeah.
don't.
Oh
But
yeah. I could bust
I
out
mean,
some
I
of that
don't
lover.
get the whole like, you know, I don't know why anybody's like acting like she's like any kind of hot anything. I mean, like seriously, she looks like random blonde twig. So I don't really understand why her legs would be getting insured. Uh,
I don't know either.
Rihanna, like I never really thought of her as a legs things. I know she's kind of like curvy,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah. With the Jamie Lee Curtis thing, it says it was by legs pantyhose during their ad campaign. So it's
well,
more
that
like
makes
they took
sense.
out insurance
And
on
so
her
I
legs.
imagine a lot of these are not insured by the individual person, but by whoever they're in business with at the time. So, like,
No.
whoever was making the James Bond movies probably insured Daniel Craig's body. Whoever is doing a concert tour with Bruce Springsteen was probably insuring his vocal cords.
Yeah. Hey, I
I
just
don't.
booked 6 venues. This guy better be singing.
Yeah. So
Okay. I can see
you
that.
know,
I can see that.
so I can imagine, you know, that all these are going to be businesses that have invested in these people. It just makes it a
Okay.
really fun story that you know, Jason can't get homeowners insurance, but you know,
Yeah. Well,
Daniel
you say
Craig's
that
cum
these.
gutters are covered. I'm going to keep saying that because it keeps making you laugh.
Well, you say that these people are doing it for the business. So why would they? Well, if J Lo was to get something insured, what body part on J Lo would be insured?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are they insuring against loss of there?
That ass. I mean, here's the thing. I am kind of curious. Are they insuring in case it becomes a flat ass, or are they insuring in case it becomes a fat ass
Or a saggy ass?
or a saggy ass? I don't know.
Yeah.
I,
I don't
I
know either. It
Uh,
just says a $27 million policy for J Lo's butt.
I wonder who the policyholder was on that. If it was while she was on tour and she was sitting there going out on stage and shaking dad ass?
She
That get
goes through policyholders, from what I heard.
who?
She goes through policyholders, from what I
Uh,
heard.
I don't think
Yeah.
any husbands get to insure dad ass.
No, no.
I mean,
Well,
I mean, because otherwise, I mean, think of how much money people would be making. Be like, well, yes, I'd like to take out an insurance policy on my wife's mouth and hoo ha, please. Okay, yep. If it ever comes under fire that your wife will not use her mouth or hoo ha, you win this free gift card to the local brothel.
oh, wow.
Yeah, you get a like a card, you know, because everything's cards nowadays. And I imagine,
Mhm.
you know, the hooker probably has a little phone there and just tap, and it's like, okay, here you go. Oh, you know,
Well, if I could give you one guess what Dolly Parton had insured, what
do
would
I need
it be?
2 guesses?
Yeah.
No, well, I was saying, good
Yeah,
say because she has
yeah,
two
just two
boobs.
things.
Because it's her
No,
boobs.
no, her
No,
eyes.
her
Duh.
eyes.
No, just one of their boobs.
Let's say what? Why do
No,
you
her
call
eyes.
it?
Come on.
I don't
They're
even know what
big.
color her eyes are.
I know they're big, round, and beautiful. Her
What,
eyes. Yeah.
boobs?
All right. Hey, even Tom Jones had his chest hair insured, and Gene Simmons had that famous long ass tongue of his insured. Yeah, that's his trademark. I could see that. But not only did all these actors and singers and stuff have crazy body parts insured, but you can get different type of insurance policies based on weird stuff.
Okay.
We basically kind of went over the career insurance already. For people whose career paths are their only livelihood, an insurance policy like this makes sense. When the paychecks, endorsements, and speaking engagements end, celebs want to receive compensation. Um, but shouldn't this be offered to everyone? Isn't this called like your 401k or Social Security?
No, because like I said, I don't think these are insurance policies that they get paid out on. I think it's the people that invested, and I don't think like whenever you know J Lo finally decides to really embrace the Dunkin' Donuts with Ben Affleck, and her
Hmm.
ass explodes out, and all the cottage cheese starts hanging out. I think by then she won't be insured anymore.
Should be Jay Grow.
Should be Jay Grow, and then she just there's nothing. I think these are temporary policies that just exist for that amount of time that some entity has spent a lot of money on them because
J Lo's butt.
they I imagine they pay her
To
probably
look her,
a
keep her
large
ass looking that
well
way.
they pay her a large upfront sum and probably some contractual stuff based on like the turnout of whatever her concerts and stuff like that. And in the event, say she only does 2 out of 20 shows, because all of a sudden, her ass like exploded or whatever, then uh then they get paid out because that ass exploded and it screwed everything up.
Oh. Well, what about ghost insurance? The term ghost policy has two definitions in the industry. While a
Okay.
ghost policy often refers to a situation where a business tries to cheat its way out of proper workers' comp coverage, some insurance companies actually have a legitimate ghost insurance policy to cover damage done by actual spirits. After an alleged ghost sighting on his property, one British hotel owner took out £1 million policy against death or disability caused by the spirit. How in the hell would you prove this? Imagine this claim call. Yeah, I was watching TV and smoking a cig, and I was woken by a black object floating above me holding a cigarette too. That's how the house caught on fire. Couldn't have been me. Nope, not at
Well,
all. It
remember
was that ghost.
it was basically a death and dismemberment policy. Instead of an accidental death and dismemberment, it was a ghost death and dismemberment. So the whole thing would be that he would have to have a ghost or poltergeist delimb him or maim him or kill him.
Oh, how would you prove it?
That is a good question. So, I mean, I'm wondering if this dude has like security cameras all over the place. So,
Yeah,
like, it'd have to be like, the adjuster would come by and be like, "Yeah, I'm checking out this ghost
the
insurance claim,"
ghost hunters.
and then they like show like this video of this guy, the poor British guy, floating in the air, spinning around until like his body part goes into pieces. And the adjuster would be like, "That's Photoshop. We're not going to pay out."
Yeah.
They'd be like, "But here it is from a different angle. Here's the people that got his blood on them. We got 18 eyewitnesses." Yeah, we weren't expecting to have to pay out on this, so we're gonna decline. We'll find a reason.
Absolutely. They would find a reason. Just like this one. Just like this one. There's no way they would pay this one off. Alien abduction insurance. At least three different insurance agencies, one of them right here in, or one of them here in Central Florida, sell alien abduction policies, and some have even paid out claims. The claims range from serious to gag gifts, but if you live in fear of an alien abduction, this might be the perfect policy to set your mind at
I
ease.
would love to see the wording of this policy because, like, if I like get kidnapped and like like whenever I go to San Diego or something, and I got
Hmm.
some illegal immigrants come and kidnap me, do I get paid out? I mean,
Yeah.
that's an alien kidnapping.
You think the aliens will let you make a phone call? Uh, hey, can I call my insurance calls policy in and make this claim real quick?
I wonder.
We do the probing later, or we want to do that now, or
I
what?
imagine the adjuster would have to see evidence of probing, so they just even show up and be like, "Drop your drawers, please, sir." And then you pull out some Men in Black thing and scan a dude's asshole, and then if
Yeah.
it's you, of course, you'd be like, "Oh, it tickles." But
Put it in further.
maybe they scan him, be like, "Oh, yep, look, he's got foreign metal parts and like his armpit or whatever."
Yeah.
Definitely sending a signal to Alpha Centauri. So, yep, let's pay it out.
I mean, I have to send a car if you get a car wreck to prove the damage. So how do you prove that you're abducted by aliens? Do you take a selfie? Do
Yeah,
you
I mean, I
you
would
get their
say
information? Do they
it
give you a
might
business
have to be
card
their
or?
injuries or something that are required that can't be explained, or it's like you come back and you're missing like a kidney, but you have no incision marks anywhere on you or something.
That
Or like
reminds
I
me.
said, like anal probe marks, like maybe like different aliens have like different brands that they stick inside your ass cheeks that you don't get to see. Like, and since, people don't go around looking at other people's buttholes, well, they do
Well,
now, OnlyFans.
they're called
But
proctologists, Daryl.
oh, yeah. Well, maybe proctologists are in on it. They're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
this guy got kidnapped by the gray aliens. Look,
Yeah,
that's their signature. That's their brand that they do whenever they stick those probes
that's
up
their
in there."
crest. That's their
Yeah.
family crest.
See, it says Glip Glop was here. And then, oh no, this dude got kidnapped twice. It says I
Double
was in.
stacked.
No, underneath it says I was in Glip Glop's mom. Whatever.
Oh, well, this one's a little different. Um, it was Thailand riot insurance. When political unrest began stirring in Thailand back in the 2010, the country's tourism numbers dropped by 8%. In an effort to boost the tourism industry, the Thai government offered $10,000 coverage on tourists who were injured as a result of a riot during their visit. Travel delays caused by riots and political demonstrations were reimbursable up to $100 a day. But if you have to insure your tourists against possible riots or reimbursing them for their trouble due to riots, perhaps you should fix what is wrong before letting people come to your country.
I've been to Thailand twice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked Thailand. I mean, not a huge fan of Bangkok, but Phuket was amazing. And if there was like the least chance of there being a riot, I don't care if they offer me 100 grand, I would not go there.
Right? It just doesn't make sense. Let's go where the fire is. Here's the one I actually agree with. It's called Cold Feet Insurance. One company offers change of heart insurance if a bride or groom calls off the wedding. The
Gee, I wonder
catch?
why you think this one's a good idea.
No, no. The bride or groom cannot collect on this, only an innocent party financier. So if Melissa calls
For
off
the
the
bride.
wedding, yeah. So if Melissa calls off the wedding, her parents can get back the cash they shelled out on the dress, venue, and flowers.
That is, I do agree with it. That's a great idea because, I mean, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head of people that just get caught up in the moment and feel like they can't get out of a wedding that they shouldn't go into, and then they go into, and then it ends after like a couple months. I'm sure it happens.
Yeah, it's happens.
Does she
Well,
listen?
yes.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Moving on. I should have crossed that one out. Okay, moving on. Multiple birth insurance. Buy one get one free is a great deal at the grocery store, but a little more intimidating when it comes to pregnancy. Multiple birth insurance would reimburse pregnant mothers for the added cost of an unexpected arrival.
I guarantee you that this is stuff that is offered to people going through fertilization treatments. So
That would be a good question for my sister.
because they're whenever they're doing an in vitro and they put in like multiple, like embryos or whatever, and they want
Mhm.
one of them to take.
You want one, you
That's
get
how you end
six.
up with like those ladies that have like litters of
Octomoms, yeah.
puppies. Yeah. Um, and so yeah, if they're sticking a bunch of potential babies inside of you, it makes sense to get insurance in case, you know, you have to start investing in like, you know, bunk beds and
Yeah,
conversion vans and
I could get on board with that one. I could see that one. It's called twin insurance, just in case you want to have it one day.
dude, I am fixed. I'm in the same boat as you. I have, as you so lovely put, diet splooge. So so no
It's
babies
without
for
the
me.
calories.
No babies for me.
And this one's called lottery insurance. Lottery pulls are popular in the office, especially when the jackpot reaches the multi-millions. But have you ever thought about what would you do? Have you ever thought about what you would do if your staff were to actually win that jackpot? This exact scenario really happened in the UK, where 7 office workers became the beneficiaries of £6 million each and handed in their notices the following day. A lottery syndicate insurance protects business owners from the financial loss of having to replace all of most of their staff at once due to a jackpot win. But
That makes sense.
it would make sense, but wouldn't it just be easier if the company just bought a ticket with their staff, thus
No,
automatically giving them a piece of the winnings?
no, because you got to keep in mind that like at a corporate level, they're not going to do that. It is cheaper for them in the long run because I imagine this policy does not cost a lot. It's kind of like, and here's a tip for all you people out there. Whenever you go to whenever you go and buy a car,
Mm-hmm.
and they talk to you about gap insurance,
Oh my
that.
God! Don't get me started on that crap.
So you buy a car, it's $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would have been like 10 years. It's $40,000. Now, the second you drive that car off the lot, it is not worth $40,000
No.
anymore. It is then worth about $26,000.
Mm-hmm.
If you get in a wreck right after that, then the insurance company is only going to pay you 75% of that
Mm-hmm.
$26,000. Well, then you are held responsible for the
For
rest
the
of,
different.
of that you financed. Whenever it came to, say if you financed all 40,000, then you'd be
Mm-hmm.
responsible for that, like other 20 some odd thousand. And I say
Yep.
20 some odd thousand because remember, if it gets totaled, the insurance only pays out, I think, 70 or 75% of the
Yeah.
value of the
Another
car.
way for them to screw you.
So the dealership will offer you gap insurance, and it'll generally like make your car payment go up like $20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever, 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 ever buy the gap insurance at the
Yes.
dealership.
Absolutely.
Talk to your car insurance. In your car insurance, there is a finance insurance or something along those lines, it is like $10 a year.
That is a lot cheaper, and it actually does what it's supposed to do.
I
Because
mean,
gap
keep in mind it
insurance
is
will
going to
not
minus the
pay it off.
deductible. It's still going to have a deductible or whatever, but still, instead of having to pay like 20 grand, you're going to have to pay like 15. You're going to get like 1,500 or whatever.
Yeah,
So
and gap insurance will actually, if it was actually do what it's designed to do, it would be great. But the times that I had to use it, it didn't pay off the car. There was still a big difference in there.
were they doing it based on the value, or were they doing it based on
It
the
was one of the
financing?
wrecks we had, and the gap insurance was supposed to cover the rest. It left like 1,500 off. It didn't cover $1,500,
Yeah,
and they're saying that
don't
was
just don't buy insurance from a fucking car salesman.
yeah, it
So
was yeah. Lesson learned. Lesson
yeah,
learned.
on your regular auto policy, it is something that you can add on, and it is like I don't know, like 20 or $30 a year. It's nothing. So there's your helpful tip from Uncle Darrell.
Well, thank you, Uncle Daryl. Well, this is one. I actually agree with this one too because there are big money in fantasy sports teams now. If you ever participated in a serious fantasy sports league, you know that it's often a long and complicated sports bet involving a lot of moving parts and often significant sums of money. And you can't control or predict injuries or sudden retirements or rest or suspensions that might impact your team's performance. You can, however, insure against those risks. I kind of get this one because you're putting up a big bet against somebody's performance, and then that athlete gets hurt, then you're screwed.
That's like fucking doing gambling insurance.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you're in gambling. You're taking a policy out on a risk, just like all this other crap.
no, dude. That'd be like, all right, dude. I'm gonna get slot machine insurance because I'm gonna go to the casino with like $500. It only costs like $10, and if I like lose that $500, they'll like cover it because it's a risk. No, that's what gambling is. Gambling is a risk. It is a risk
Mhm.
with a potential payout.
Yeah,
Fantasy football is it is a gamble thing in which I mean, like, I pay $25 for my league. I can't imagine what kind of big
some
money
are
like you're.
multiple $100s to get in,
Oh, that is
and you have to
insane.
pay for moves. Like if you want to drop somebody, you have to pay for it.
Do you have to like pay to pick up like people off of waivers
Yeah,
and stuff?
all of it. It all
Oh,
goes
F
into a
that
pot.
noise.
Yeah, it's a big make trades. You got throwing money.
No, I like mine though. My league is awesome. I've been in it for God, how long has it been? Like 7 years, 8 years, something like that. And I mean, we all hang out once a year for drafts. We talk shit to each other online, and everybody makes fun of how bad I am at drafting. And it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of good times, I will end on this one. Kidnapping and ransom.
That is legit.
Yeah.
That is absolutely legit.
But once again, I have to ask, how do you file a claim? Are the kidnappers employed by an insurance carrier? Do you call your insurance rep and say, hey, I've been kidnapped. Can you please send my kidnapping insurance money?
No, all right. I can tell you how this one works.
All
I've
right.
seen enough movies. All right, so kidnapping and ransom insurance is typically purchased by like the super rich people, but also like corporations that send people to high risk areas. So, say you're sending people down to Mexico City as part of your business thing,
Okay.
Mexico or Brazil or something like that, places that were kidnapping foreigners is a thing that can happen. Well, the company, if they get a message, like from somebody saying, "Hey, I've been kidnapped. This is the ransom thing," they will call that insurance company. They'll call the police too, but they'll call that insurance company, show them what's going on. The insurance company will then talk to the police, validate everything, and if a ransom is said, then that insurance company is the one that pays it.
Oh, do they have to take 2 or 4 weeks for their policy to pay out, or do you think they can
No,
give it to you pretty quickly?
I think they give it to you pretty quickly. I think
Okay.
I think that's probably one of the things that they sell people on. It's like, look, somebody gets kidnapped, we'll be there on the spot to cut a check, for you to take or to get cash or whatever to
You
drop
don't
off.
think they have to deliver it in a bag and leave it on the sidewalk somewhere underneath the
I
bench?
think they probably, if anything, they might wire you the check or something like that for you to just go to your wire you the money so you can go to your bank. But
Oh, so we do
yeah,
it
no,
some secret way.
that stuff is very, very legit, because there are places where if you are a foreigner, you are likely to get kidnapped, and not likely, but it's it's possible, and
Yeah.
so it's a way for a corporation to make sure that it's protecting its employees and protecting itself, because the last thing a corporation would want, and this would be the more likely scenario, is somebody get kidnapped. They'd be like, I'm not paying $2 million for that guy, whatever. And then some dude gets like killed by by the cartel or something. They're like, well, yeah, there was a ransom, and then that corporation looks terrible.
Yeah.
Instead
They
they have
wanted $1
insurance.
million.
Yeah, it's like, I wasn't gonna pay that much for that piece of shit. We wrote him up twice last year for
Yeah, we're
feeling
gonna
up the
fire
age
him anyway.
at the Christmas party. It's. But
Yeah, he was already at the door, and they just did us a favor.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like you were talking about with like Thailand. There's certain places, like I will never go to Brazil, and we don't currently have any listeners in Brazil. But if we ever gain listeners in Brazil and you speak English and you hear this and you get offended, get over it, because one of the things that whenever you travel to Brazil, when you travel to Brazil, one of the things that they advise you is to keep a fake wallet and fake cell phone, or backups, because it's not if you get mugged, it's when you get bugged.
Yeah,
You're gonna get.
Is that on their travel brochure, their tourist brochure, and they give you?
No,
is that their slogan they go by?
A lot of times when it was whenever when the Olympics were there, like I forget, like 2008 or something like that. I'm talking about it. For all I know, it could have got better, but that always sticks out in my mind. And honestly, I can't think of any reason I'd ever want to go to Brazil.
No,
I'm married.
No.
I mean, if I wasn't married, I might be able to figure out, a few reasons to go to Brazil. But
yeah, I could get waxed here.
Well, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that if someone is a criminal in another country and they happen to go to Brazil and they happen to get married while in Brazil, Brazil will not extradite somebody that's married to a Brazilian citizen.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't.
It's just
write that down.
It's just information, and that's what we are. We are an informative podcast.
Yes, we try to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that will do it for this week's episode. Tune in next week when Darrell takes over the mixing board and brings us another melody that made us say, "Waywut."
Why is it everything you say sounds just like so
beautiful?
Feminine. No, feminine.
No, hang on. Let me start over then. Tune in next week when Darrell takes over the mixing board. We're not playing softball.
I don't know. It's just something about it. You have flowery words, but
I'm sorry.
And then I don't know. It's just God.
I'm sorry. I speak too eloquently for you.
I wouldn't call it that. I wouldn't call it that at all.
Maybe I'm just a little lubed up and my words are flowing a little better.
I'm done talking to you. You take your lubed up, ticklish butthole off this call. We're done.
Yeah. I need to get going then if this is ready to go. All right. We'll see y'all later.
Okay. So bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for Waywut. We really appreciate you watching or listening. Please subscribe or follow us on your favorite platform to catch our latest episodes that we publish on Tuesdays and sometimes on Fridays. We'd love to hear from you, whether it's rating us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, commenting on our videos or just a podcast episode, or following us and hitting us up on TikTok, Facebook, or X. You can find us there with our handle, Waywut Podcasts. That's WAYWUT Podcast. And that will do it for this episode. Join us next time and we'll make you say, Waywut.